Okay, let's be real. Most of us want more joy in our life. But here's the thing, joy just doesn't start with those big wins that we get. It starts with the small moments that we always usually almost miss. So if you ever felt like you're just moving through the days and you're tired and you're busy and you're wondering where your spark went that you used to have, the first step to bringing back joy is might just be finding some gratitude. And before you roll your eyes, I'm not talking about getting a fancy journal and start writing three things I'm thankful that you're thankful for. I'm talking about training our brain to notice what is already working in your life. My name is Christine Kutnick, and my friends call me the Joyologist. I'm a certified coach that focuses on joy, harmony, and peace. I am hired by people, especially millennials, who realize that they have designed a life based on other people's expectations and it's not feeling well. They're ready to start designing life based on what their values are. So, if you're ready to readjust your life in a way that feels aligned to your values, well, let's get excited because you are in the right place. We are going to spend some time making you feel excited about getting out of bed and every day and feeling the joy and harmony that you're seeking. So let's talk about the truth about gratitude. Gratitude is not a one-time exercise. It's a practice. And honestly, some days it can be a hard practice. When life feels heavy and you feel like it's even impossible to say thank you, those are the days we have to lean into gratitude even more because gratitude isn't about asking you to always be happy about everything that's going on. It's about helping you notice something good, even when things feel heavy and uncertain. For example, it's noticing that, hey, my coffee tastes pretty dang good today. Or it could be something, I just got a good laugh, a really good laugh. And boy, I haven't laughed in a long time. That quiet acknowledgement can exist at one time, and it can be hard and it can be hopeful at once. So you're not denying a struggle that you're going through. You're just reminding yourself that joy can still exist at the same time. And that is why joy is a choice we make every single day. So let's be honest and talk about the truth about gratitude. Gratitude is not a one time exercise, it is a practice that we must continue to work on. And honestly, some days it's going to be hard to find gratitude. When life feels heavy, sometimes it's impossible to even want to say thank you to somebody. But gratitude doesn't ask you to be happy about everything that's happening in your life. It's asking you to take notice of the good, even when things seem bad or when something is feeling uncertain. It is a quiet acknowledgement that both can exist at one space. It can be hard and helpful. So when you notice things such as, wow, my tea is pretty good today, or my coffee tastes really, really good, or I laughed. Boy, I haven't laughed in a long time and it felt great. When we start to notice those little things, our brain will start to shift the way that we look at stuff. So you're not denying the struggle that you're going through, but you're reminding yourself that joy can exist at the same time you're going through some struggle. When I was going through a hard time in my life, life felt really uncertain. I'm sure many of us have experienced that. I was questioning everything about my life. I was questioning my career. I was questioning my choice to have children. To be honest, I was even questioning if I wanted to be married. I mean, nothing was off limits. I was questioning everything. But I made a deal with myself. Every time before I go to bed, I decided that I was going to find one thing that was not falling apart. Some days, those things were big, like, hey, a friend checked in on me today. And other days, it was really small. I mean, I remember one time saying, get to take a shower tomorrow. I'm being grateful for that. That one thing didn't fix everything that was going on in my life, but it provided me an anchor. And it reminded me that not everything was broken. I still had some good stuff going on. Over time, my gratitude practice has changed and it has morphed. Now, today, I say three things I'm grateful for every time I put my head on a pillow, any pillow, my sofa pillow, my bed pillow, whatever pillow it is. So if I take a nap, before I get too comfortable and fall asleep, I will say three things I'm thankful for. If I go to bed, I always say three things I'm grateful for. Now I have felt comfortable to share this practice with my husband, and I sometimes will say it out loud. I'll say, hey, Lance, the three things I'm thankful for today are, and, sometimes he'll respond with three things he's grateful for, and sometimes he won't. And that is totally great because this is his choice, but this is how I have decided to practice gratitude. Because I know when I am able to articulate and say it out loud, eventually it ripples on. So this is what I call the anchor practice. It is I anchor an activity on my gratitude practice. And that's the magic of gratitude, is that you will be able to find something that is working for you today. So although I was not good as a science student, I love science because I love that it gives me something to put some meat to. So let's talk about the science of gratitude for a moment. So when our brain practices gratitude consistently, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin. And those are those yummy, feel-good chemicals that help regulate our moods. But here's the secret. The saying what you're grateful for out loud, or the writing what you're grateful for in your journal, doesn't change your brain. It's the noticing of what you find. And when you pause and say, hey, that moment matters, you're literally rewiring your brain to look for more special moments. And over time, that is what creates more joy. Not because your life suddenly gets easier, but rather your focus gets easier. So you may be asking, how do I integrate gratitude in my life, especially when things are loud and messy and running it so fast? Here's a few ways that I teach my joy writers, that's what I call my clients, on how to start integrating gratitude in their life. Start with one thing, like I did, right? Every night, ask yourself, what is one thing that went right today? What is one thing that worked? And that item can be so small. It could be as simple as I got out of bed. It could be I got into bed at a reasonable time. It could be I had lunch. Whatever it is, name it out loud. Say something like, I saw the sun come up and that sunrise was beautiful. Or someone said something and it just made me smile. James said something and it made me smile. When you do that and you say it out loud, your brain starts to pause and really appreciate what you're grateful for. And then anchor your gratitude practice like I did. Connect with something that you already do. I mentioned that my anchor is my pillow. Anytime I lay my head on a pillow, I say three things I'm thankful for. So maybe it is when you're brushing your teeth. You do that every day. Say something that you're grateful for. It could be when you drink your morning coffee. That's when you take time to say something you're grateful for. Or when you walk your dog. So the simple ways that you can, something that you're already doing, that you can just pause and remember, hey, let's take notice of something that is working well today. Each time, notice that one good thing. And then maybe when that comes easy, you may want to stretch yourself and go 2. You can go up to 3. That is one simple way to begin a gratitude practice. So let's talk about how gratitude fits into the joy recipe. So it is the foundation, the yeast that makes everything else rise in the joy recipe. So we know when you start noticing what's good, you are naturally open yourself up to the other components, the other ingredients, the connections, the values alignment, the self-care, the spirituality, and the chocolate chip. This ingredient will make everything else a little bit more sustainable. Gratitude teaches us to live with our eyes wide open. It helps us catch the sweetness, even when things feel a little bit sour. So here is my invitation for you this week. I want you to notice one thing. If you can do it every day, great. If you can only do it 4 times this week, fine. These things don't have to be perfect things. Don't make them Instagram worthy things. They're just simple, ordinary moments that make you feel good. I want you to write them down. I want you to whisper them. I want you to yell them out loud if you want to. And I want you to smile at them. Because when you start to notice the joy in the small things, you begin to build a life that feels bigger, more full, and more yours. And this is important because joy isn't found, it is something you choose. And the first step is being grateful for one moment at a time. So, what can you do today that's going to help you choose joy right now? In the next video, we're going to talk about values alignment, because this is the second ingredient to our joy recipe. I'm Christine Kutnick, your joyologist. I hope you have an amazing day. And the thing I'm grateful for right now is that you found me, you showed up, and you listened. Thank you. Please know I'm incredibly grateful for you.